Everyone, hope everything is going well. All right, today I wanted to look at this one interesting clip from my sports card channel, but I want to relate it to a financial concept. I didn't get too much into it, and Colin from Sports Card Radio didn't get into it as much either, but I want you to take a look at this and listen to this, and I will give my own thoughts on I would say specifically the high-end sports card market, and you could even say mid-end market. So take a look at this regarding how the auction houses are like banks. So just take a look or listen.
The loaning, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, it's kind of like poker. I don't know how many people like follow professional poker, but you see these poker players and they're playing with millions of dollars. They buy into a cash game and they got $1 million. Like, none of that is their money. Or they buy into a $10,000 tournament and the guy playing only put up 1,000, and then the other 9,000 comes from kind of a backer or an investor or whatever. And if they win a tournament, if you win a $400,000 tournament, you owe your backer 1.5 million. So you didn't even really win any money. And so with these high end cards, when they were going up, it was probably okay because they were going up and you could flip them and you could keep rolling into a new one. Once the rug got pulled out of that, a lot of these guys are probably left holding loans. What my understanding is, PWCC, Golden, probably Heritage to a lesser degree, maybe even Pristine, these major auction houses, they actually own most of the big cards. Like, they hold the reasons why you don't see these guys flex these cards and take them around like Vegas Dave to like a baseball game or whatever is they don't actually own the card. They quote bought it's just like a house. Okay, you could buy $1 million house with maybe $100,000 down. So you had 100,000, you bought $1 million house. You don't own the house. You own the mortgage. The bank owns the house. And so the banks are Golden, PWCC, Pristine, Heritage, all the auction houses. They own all the cards and they have loaned out money. And then these guys during the pandemic and when this stuff was going up, it was a great business. You'd buy a card, it goes up, you borrow money off of it. It's just like when the housing market did the same. I mean, a lot of markets do the same thing. When it's going up, it's great. But then when the rug gets pulled, then all of a sudden you're left holding the bag. And that's why you see these weird deals. And that's why you see this kind of pumping of that Luca black 1 of 1 or what.
So this is an interesting observation. So he said that basically the auction houses are like banks, and during the pandemic, they're lending money, and it was fine because people were making money off of the cards, and they were able to basically pay off their loans, or they got money that they have in their coffers and they could reinvest and pay the loan later, depending on how they wanted to act. Now, that was working in an environment of low interest rates. Now we are at a point where we have higher interest rates, not like 1980s interest rates, but you haven't seen these interest rates in what, since 2006, 2005, 2006. So it's been a while that we're used to it. And sports cards were basically pumped up and then they got dumped. So now what happens in an environment, at least in the short run, while the economy is going to do well, in my opinion, where sports cards go down in value? I mean, not sports cards, interest rates go down in value. And will this create an environment where these auction houses feel more comfortable in starting to lend again? PWCC is not going to lend. Okay, we know that. But what about the other auction houses? What if the stock market hits an all-time record within the next 6 months? What if people start feeling confident again? Even though I still believe later next year will be the collapse of the commercial real estate market. I think we're going to see that later next year. But before that happens, will these auction houses say, hey, look, things are getting better. We could start lending again. People feel confident. And if they start lending more again, less restrictions, will that pump up to a lesser degree these mid to high end sports cars? Not like 2020, not like 2021, but it begins to normalize where we don't see prices going down, at least in the interim, but prices catch a bid. And I think they will. And this is a very important concept that, hey, look, these auction houses are like banks. And will these guys feel more comfortable lending? That's the question. So it is what it is. I do expect interest rates to go lower. I do expect crypto to rip higher in the next 8 months. And I could see the high end getting pumped with lower interest rates and these auction houses giving more money. But once again, we will have problems and it will be coming soon. So I like looking at price action and I just wanted to share my thoughts. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. And I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.